Sup, this is David, and today I want to talk to you about social conditioning and how we are being turned into sheeps. We're being turned into sheeps by the media. So I'll give you an example of what social conditioning can look like. I talked about this example before, but I think it makes sense in this context as well. So social conditioning can look something like this. So there was this time where we were with a group. We were with a group and we were going to In-N-Out. And this In-N-Out I have been to one time before. Okay, and we were all walking there as a group. And the leader of the group, it was this woman, and she said that In-N-Out was this direction. And she said this very, very confidently and with so much congruence that we all thought In-N-Out was this way. But I have been to that In-N-Out before, like I said, right? And I was pretty sure it was this way and not the way she was pointing. But because this lady, she said it with so much confidence and congruence, and it felt like she knew, she has been there 100 times before. And because she had that sense of confidence in herself, I questioned myself. I questioned my own intelligence and my own memory. I thought, maybe In-N-Out is that way. Maybe I was the one being delusional. And so she took the entire group towards that direction. And guess what happened? In-N-Out was the complete other direction. I was actually right in my sense of direction, but we all followed her because she was so confident in herself. And this is the beginnings of how social conditioning can spiral. And if this kind of conditioning, if this kind of confidence in somebody's reality, strong sense of reality, can pull, about 10 people into her frame of reality, imagine what would happen if mass media, if marketers did this to an even wider scale. And so that is like a small level of peer pressure, right? And it all can start with just one person being really, really convinced in themselves about something that may not be relevant at all. But then, because they have that sense of strong reality, it pulls other people into their frame of reality. And because maybe they get a few handful of people into believing in their sense of reality, now it creates the social proof. And because it creates social proof, other people are like, other outsiders are looking at that situation and saying, they're all going to In-N-Out. 10 people are going to In-N-Out in that direction. 10 people cannot be wrong, can they? And so more people follow along. And so that 10 turns into 20, it turns into 100, it turns into thousands, it turns into maybe millions of people going in the wrong direction. And so this is a small example of societal conditioning, social conditioning. So how does this play out in real life? Well, an example of my life is, and where I have been socially conditioned to believe was a good thing, was a cool thing, was smoking. I used to be a heavy smoker. I used to probably smoke 1 to 2 packs at least a day. And when I was drinking, I used to smoke even more. And so I thought to myself, after I learned all this social conditioning stuff, I have been influenced so hard by these tobacco companies that I was illusioned into thinking that smoking was actually something that was cool. How did I become influenced into this type of thinking? And so I asked myself that question. And it came from a lot of mass media, from the movies, the Hollywood movies, from the TV shows. And because they portrayed this thing as something being cool and had so much confidence in doing it, they had the strong reality into doing it, it made you want to also do that same activity, doesn't it? Because it seemed, quote unquote, cool. Well, I learned throughout the years of personal development that you can make anything cool. As long as, like that lady example, as long as you have a pure conviction of confidence in yourself and you have the strong reality, you can pull other people into that frame of reality and you can make anything cool. And so marketing tends to do this a lot, right? They get these garbage products, they have this confident person in their advertisements to make it look cool, and we all fall for it. And so with the example of cigarettes, like that, the smoking example, is it good for us? We all know scientifically that it is bad for us. It's bad for us, it's bad for the people around us, it costs a lot of money, there's so much taxes, it's bad for the environment, it's like a net negative, it's just multiple negatives all around, and yet we are still doing it because this pull of societal conditioning is so strong that even if every single sense of our common sense tells us that we shouldn't do it, we do it anyways, because that's how strong this stuff can be. And so I want you to examine your life and see, gosh, maybe I am also a sheep of this marketing, of societal conditioning. And here's the confusing part though. The confusing part is that a lot of what culture gives us, a lot of what society gives us is actually very good. Like technology, society gives us technology, society gave us our cell phones, society gave us this camera, society gave us airplanes so we can travel freely. A lot of it is good, a lot of it is positive. And that's the confusing part. Because a lot of it is positive, a lot of us can't differentiate between what's good and what's bad. It all becomes like this cloudy glaze, and everything seems good because society says that it's good when it's really not. And you want to be able to distinguish between what's good and what's bad, and not just take something because somebody told you to. Not just do an activity because somebody said it's good or somebody says it's cool, not be peer pressured by it. And just like that smoking example that I gave, also question other things, many other aspects of my life. Like I had to question many other aspects of my life. Like what else did I become conditioned in? How else did I fall victim to these marketing campaigns? Like where else have I been a sheep to? Like where else have I been delusioned in? And when I ask myself that question, actually, there's many things that I fell for. Many things. Some of that could be drinking a lot of alcohol, partying. I used to think that partying and drinking alcohol was the only way I had fun. But that's rarely the case. I can have fun in so many other ways while being purely sober and maybe even feeling better than the friends who are drinking, because by the end of the night you feel crappy. By the next morning you feel crappy. But I can have that same amount of fun while feeling better because I'm getting this natural high from my natural body, but also not feeling like crap the next day as well. And where else? A lot of advertising. Maybe it's the brands that I loved. In the past, I used to look at these cars and I used to envy people in these cars. I used to envy people in like Ferraris and Lamborghinis. I wanted one of these cars. But now looking and going through that thought process of that social conditioning, I realized that I have also been marketed to. I've been marketed to. And why was it the reason that I wanted that car? Okay, if you want a car just for your own sake, and there's no ego attachment, which there's rarely a person like that. If you want a car just for your own sake, then that's no big deal, right? Have it for your own sake. But a lot of us, and me included, I wanted this car because I wanted to feel cool. I wanted other people to envy me. I wanted to become seen as a superior person over other people, which is so bad. That's like feeding the ego. And so if it's something that feeds the ego, then maybe you want to question it. Maybe you want to withdraw that from your life. And so I looked at my situation of like cars and like these luxury brands, like the usual top-end brands that you might hear in like rap songs, right? And I used to look at these brands in a highlight, but then after learning about the ego and like social conditioning and stuff, I now have like zero wants of these, zero desires of owning anything with like high brands. Unless it's for myself, unless I'm buying it because it has such a good quality. And some of these brands do have a good quality, material. But most people aren't buying them for the good material. Most people are buying it because it's a status symbol. It's a signaling. Right? You're signaling to other people how cool you are, how better you are than other people. So if you're buying products because you want to feel superior over other people, please don't do that. Like really go through the process and really critically think about it. Right? Have I been conditioned? Am I buying this for myself, or am I really buying it so that other people can see me on a higher level? So if it's something to do with comparison, if it's something so that you can feel superior over other people, then I really want you to question it. Question everything. Question everything. Become a critical thinker. Question even what I'm saying in these videos, right? Question everything, because you want to be able to have that independence. Become an independent thinker. Become a critical thinker. Become a creative thinker. And again, there are different levels to this. So just a little bit of ego, and maybe not too bad. But the problem with most people is that we have a little bit too much of it. We want these Lamborghinis and Ferraris and these handbags so that we can feel superior over other people. And that's just purely feeding the ego. And that's just something that I've really worked on over these many years to get rid of. And I hope that you can also become an independent thinker, to think for yourself, and to remove a lot of these conditionings in life that might not be serving your overall purpose. So that's all I had for this video. Hope you found some good value out of this one, and if you have, then a like and a sub is really appreciated. And that's it for today, and I'll see you in the next one.